Welcome back to the channel. Steve Wyert's here. And if you're watching this video, you've just tuned in to Ed My Shred. I'll be making another video on this guy pretty soon. We're going to do a full 5150 paint job on this. This is electrical tape. I've made some modifications on this one. That is my Kramer Beretta Special. And I do want to say this is the Wilkinson VSVG tremolo on here. And this thing stays in tune. You can dive it all day long. It's really hard to make an improvement on this guitar. I'm going to do another video. You can see I've done some changes since my first video. But we're talking about the fesley Stratocaster. So I don't do this for a living. I don't have any paid advertisements. I don't have any Amazon affiliate links. I think I had some on my first video. And I don't know if I didn't sell enough or whatever. I mean, I tried that. But I'm not going to make a living on links. And so, yeah, I work a full-time job. I'm going to give you my honest opinion. So I got this fesley 39-inch Stratocaster, and I bought it. Let's go down here off of me onto the guitar here. And I couldn't wait to take it apart. So before I made this video, let's see if I get the full headstock in here. Here we go. So I already have it partially taken apart. And what I'm going to do is add this shred. Now, the reason I chose this fesley is because of the neck and the heel contour and stuff in the back. Let me show you. And it had the Wilkinson pickups in it. So I got it in the first video here before this one. So I couldn't wait to take the pick guard off of this thing to see what was underneath here. And I was hoping it wasn't like a big, huge block because there's no way you're going to make a Frankenstrat out of that. So here it is. It has got, it doesn't have the small ones, but if you wanted to put a humbucker in here, you could. I got everything just sitting in here right now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you some options here. If I wanted to build a Frankenstrat, I could tilt this in there, okay? I bought me a 5-way Fender old-fashioned 5-way switch, right? I just cut the pickups and stuff out of here because everything is going to change. And I love the Wilkinson pickups. That was a Wilkinson tremolo on that one. This is a Wilkinson 2-point tremolo. And we're going to find out, after I get this thing back together, whether or not we can dive this thing down to the pits of hell and resurrect it back up into perfect tune. Notice the Bible right here. So here's one thing I do want to tell you. Links underneath here. Go to my website. And if you're worried about diving down into the bottomless pit, I've got free books. One's called The Truth About You and God. You will learn more about that, about God, reading that book in a couple hours than you will 20 years sitting in church. And it'll get you in contact with the man upstairs. And second book is called Time is Running Out. The Bible is a countdown. It's counting down. And I wrote a book about it. And it ends in 2031. Don't know what else to say. Everything's free. It's down there in the link. Back to the guitar. So I'm not trying to make any money here or anything. I don't think the gospel should be sold. All right. So let's do this. Obviously, if you don't know how to take tuners off, there's just a little nut on the top. They have one screw on in the back. You take the one screw off on the back right here. Just take a screwdriver. I like to use my wife's screwdriver. I always lose my tools. If I lose this one, there'll be hell to pay. So I never lose your tools. The tremolo, you just loosen the 2 screws in the back, take the springs off, and we're going to go from 3 springs to 2 springs, and just pop the tremolo off of here. Look at this tremolo. Look at this nice, big, fat steel block. This is a Wilkinson. So I have a 2-point right here that came with this, and I bought this mainly because it had Wilkinson pickups on it. Okay, it had a Wilkinson tremolo, which I've never tried the 2-point before, but that one I just showed you on the Kramer Beretta Special, that is an awesome tremolo. And if I can't get this one to work the way it should, that's coming off of there, and it's going on here. I'm putting the other tremolo on here. Now, these pickups that came with it are here, and I took this cover off. This cover just comes right off. I took the name off. I took the name off there. I sanded this thing up, right? Took this off, sanded this all up, and painted this red. Thinking about the Frankenstrat here, right? Putting that in there. Okay. Took this out, so I just cut everything. Open it up, because I don't plan on using it. And here's my wife's tools again. Cut all the wires. Now let me show you this. You can't use the 5-way on this because it's computerized, so you've got to buy this one down here, and they're only a few bucks on Amazon. This is a coil split. Everybody is nuts about these coil splits. I have one right here. I don't know if this is a Seymour Duncan or whatever, but I bought 2. I have one of these in my other guitar, and I happen to have this in the drawer. I'm going to use this because I like it, the feel of it, but I'm not going to wire it as a coil split. I think coil splits are overrated. I've watched videos on the internet. These guys are changing through all the positions of coils, and everything sounds the same. I think you can get away with this volume knob that came with this. Other than that, I don't like this. This one here seems to be pretty high quality. It's got a lot of resistance on it. This one flows a little more, but I would just get yourself. I mean, you could buy an EVH volume, just a regular volume, real smooth, where he does cathedral and stuff on it. Like 10, 12 bucks or something. You just look on the internet. So basically, this whole thing is going to go in the trash. Unless I cut this right here and paint it black for the pickup over here. So, next, my son bought these for me for Father's Day. I bought this guitar for me for my Father's Day, birthday, anniversary, and Christmas present from my wife. It was $229. I saw it for $215 the other day. My son bought me these Fender locking tuners. And I've seen a video recently where the guy was saying, and I watch all the guitar video channels, saying that locking tuners don't have anything to do with the tuning. Now, if I wouldn't have put locking tuners on this Kramer Beretta Special, now these are Planet Waves. They cut the string when you tighten them up. This guitar does not go out of tune. And by the way, I never even changed the nut. It still has this plastic nut in here. And this thing absolutely does not go out of tune. Dives down to the pits of hell and comes right back up again. And I'm hoping this will do the same thing. Like I said, if not, that tremolo's going on here. But these, I'm going to try the Fender locking tuners. The thing about these is they got 2 little pegs on here. And so you have to drill holes to get them in. And we'll take a look at this. So on the back, over here, you've got to drill. You got these 2 little pegs right here, and you're going to have to drill some holes right here when you put them on. So I'm just going to line them all up here and clamp a bar on here and then just tap this with a hammer. Put a piece of tape across here, tap that with a hammer, and mark the holes and just drill it with a drill. They sell jigs and all that kind of stuff. There's no need for that. Okay. Now, loving the back of this guitar here, one thing that Kramer Beretta Special does not have is this contour right here on the body for the neck. And that makes a night and day difference. Because when you're playing, it hits. When you're doing the high notes, I'm 62 years old. Eruption is on my bucket list. I try and play it almost every morning. And maybe we'll get into that when I finish this guitar. But when you have the square sticking out here, boom. So on a 21 fret guitar or 22 fret guitar, and this is the other thing I'm going to tell you. I recently looked at the Fender Debut. It's only 21 frets, right? This one has 22, gives you the extra harmonic. Awesome. I will be putting this on there. I got this off a Reverb. It's a Geiger brass nut. Eddie Van Halen had a brass nut up here. And what else do I want to tell you? Oh, okay, so watch this. I'm contemplating, and I'll show you how easy this would be, to make yourself a 78 Eruption guitar. Look at that. Paint this thing white, right? Tape it off, paint it white. And I also got this. I got this off of eBay for a 78 Eruption. And then all you'd have to do is tape this and then just paint it white and take it off. And I'll tell you what I think I'm going to do with this. I am going to, what I just told you, I'm going to tape this thing off. And there's no links for this stuff. You got to look it up. You can buy this off of Amazon. I'm going to tape it up. I'm going to paint it white. So I'm going to make this look like the 78 Eruption. But I'm going to put this on there. And I'm going to put this on there. Okay. I'm not going to use this pick guard. I'm going to just cut it and do that. So it's going to be a black and white Frankenstrat. Why? Because I already have a, let me go get it. Hold on a second. It's right here. This is not a paint job. I really don't have time to be painting. That's one of the reasons why I just want to do this. Just tape it off and paint it white, and I'll be done. This is all done with electrical tape. This one has the Floyd Rose on it. And this 5150, okay, I got this off of AliExpress. Got my tuner on here. And it was a total nightmare. And I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, I've lowered, this is a Godo. I changed everything on here. This is a Wilkinson pickup, and I love it. I've got the Tessie kill switch on here. You know, I'm going to do another video on that one. But, so I already have, my son says, Dad, you already have a black and red and white one, so why don't you just, you know, I was thinking about possibly just leaving it like this. Let's go back. Because they make them now, where they look like regular guitars and they kind of Frankenstrat them or whatever, but what's the purpose of that? I don't know. So, you've seen all three of my guitars. And that's probably all I'm going to get into today. Oh. So you've seen all three of my guitars. I guess I ought to look at the camera. I don't have a YouTube studio. So I threw this up in my living room. So I have all three tremolos. And so I'm going to be doing videos on all three of these guitars. So I've got the Floyd Rose. I've got Godo. I've got the 2-point Wilkinson, and I have the WVSVG on the Beretta Special over there. And we are going to compare all 3 tremolos. And we're going to find out. So, and we're also going to find out if this guitar stays in tune with the locking tuners. And I've heard it, you know, like I said, and he's got a channel, he's got thousands of subscribers trying to say that the locking tuners don't help you keep in tune. If you don't put locking tuners on your Beretta Special, it'll never stay in tune. So, I mean, I found that out. I'm just telling you the truth. So I'm going to put locking tuners on this and see if I can dive it and bring it back up again. Definitely. I never changed the nut on that Beretta. And the locking tuners, and maybe it's a combination of the tremolo too. But that thing's a machine. And I'm hoping that this one is too. This is going to be awesome. So we're making a 78 Eruption guitar, right? And originally when he had the 78 Eruption and the early stages of the Frankenstrat guitar, okay, the red, white, and black one, he did not have a Floyd Rose on it. He had a regular tremolo. And then he switched to a brass tremolo and a brass nut. I got the brass nut here. I've got the gold tremolo over there. If I wanted to make this a full-blown Frankenstrat, pre-Floyd Rose. And you say, Steve, why are you getting this pre-Floyd Rose things? Let me tell you about Floyd Roses. They're awesome. They stay in tune. You just tune them with the little nuts on the back rather than the front, but you have to learn how to use them. And and you have to learn how to set them up. And so they're a little bit complicated, but once you get around all that, you'll love them, you know. But for the person just starting out, something that you can pick up, you can dive to the pits of hell, resurrect back, you know, by the spirit of life and have it stay in tune, you know, without having a Floyd Rose and without having to know all those complications and stuff. That's why I got these other tremolos. So we're going to be comparing all 3 tremolos. So the difference between a $2,000 guitar or a $4,000 guitar and a $200-$300 guitar is the setup. It's the setup. Because I go into the Guitar Center and these guitars here, my wife calls them cheap guitars. Why you should just buy? Well, I can't afford to buy a $2,000 Frankenstrat. They want $2,000 for a Frankenstrat. That 5150 that I built out of China plays better than the Frankenstrat that I had down there at Guitar Center. I go in there and I play them. And they need to have a luthier or something setting up the guitars down there because I'll go in there and I might find one guitar in there that plays well, you know. And normally it's in the used section because somebody already set their guitar up. You got to learn how to set your guitar up. Okay, you want one of these. This stuff, just luthier tools. I got this off of Temu. Almost absolutely, they don't cost anything. So let me show you this. And you can do this when you first get the guitar. You don't have to take the strings off. You just want to find out if, get it in the right position here. Hold on. There we go. You just want to find out if the neck is flat or not. So when I got this one, had a little bit of a bow. And in the middle, in here, you can see some daylight. And you just take your Allen wrench, which they give you, and I just tightened it. I think only about like a quarter turn or whatever, and it perfectly leveled out. Okay, so the quality, the setup on this wasn't bad. I did play it for like 3 or 4 days. And it was staying tuned as long as I didn't dive it. I mean, I don't buy a guitar not to dive it. I'm an old 80s rocker, 62 years old. All right. So, the next tool you want, and I got these all in a pack. This is a fret rocker, okay? You put it on between the 3 frets, right? And you see if it rocks. Now, when I first got this was a little high right here, and this thing was rocking, okay? Obviously, it's not now. And you just go down, and then when the frets get smaller, you just, you turn it to the next size, and then when you get all the way down here, you turn it to this size. And it's just that easy. So, what did I do? That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. So this one was a little bit high. Right here. I put it on the Holy Bible, and I'm not going to do it now. You can get one of these hammers. I got this at Menards. Any hardware store, and just boom, boom, just hit that down. And I had one more over here, and this thing is perfect. So, tell me what you... Let me see. All right, tell me what you think in the comments. Initial thought of this Fesley 39-inch Stratocaster so far. I love it. If I wanted to, I could put a humbucker up here. And I do have a Wilkinson neck humbucker because I bought the whole set for $30 on that the 5150, and I only used the one pickup. So I'm thinking about that. But my other deal is, because I can't stand coil splits. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about actually, and I watched the videos on this. I read the thread or whatever. When Eddie Van Halen first made his guitar, the black and white one, when he was doing this, he had two control knobs and he had a toggle switch in there. And I was thinking about two volumes separate from each other. I mean, you want to talk about coil split, then why don't you just wire this one hot, and switch between the two, and you can have the volume already set on this. So that's my thinking here. So with separate volume controls, and of course, we're going to have a kill switch in there somewhere. This is a parts guitar, Ed by Shred. So I call this is white electrical tape. It's an Ibanez Geo. It's a pile. Yeah, this is a parts guitar. I got a mini little kill switch on here that I bought. I mean, it's just tiny. And that's going to go on this one. I might steal this off of here. I think that is the Wilkinson. I put it in here. There's my Wilkinson bridge pickup right there. I took that other one out and took the volume control off. So I'm going to steal parts off of this. And one day I will build this into a monster. And then it won't be a piece of junk anymore. I'm telling you, the difference in a $4,000 guitar, and a $200 or $300 guitar is the setup. And so, if you buy a cheap one and then you buy the parts a little bit at a time and work on it, not only is it a lot of fun, you don't get hit with that big lump sum up front, and you might have $400 into it, maybe $500. But my goal is to find a guitar, and I believe I have it with the Kramer Beretta Special on that Tremolo, without a Floyd Rose on it, that so anybody can pick it up without having the knowledge and just play. All right. God bless you guys. Rock on. And I'll see you on the next video. I'm going to tape this thing off, put those tuners on there, and set it all up. And links to my free books are below. And I'll see you next time.